when someone we know has a problem that doesn't seem like it can be solved, and then suddenly the problem is solved, we're filled with amazement. We probably have a few questions. Well, once again, that's the situation that happened to the blind man in John 9. He'd been born blind. There was no cure for that, and suddenly he's not blind anymore. So people were asking him all kinds of questions about it. Well, along the way, in verse 13, it says that they took the man who formerly had been blind to the Pharisees. And now the Pharisees got involved in this, and that's where the problems began to crop up. And as they got involved, they said, how did this happen? How are you able now to see? And he explained what Jesus had done, and he explained how he was able to see. And there was division among the Pharisees even about this. And then they say to the blind man, what's your opinion of him? What do you say about him? Who do you think he is? You know, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. Questions are not inherently sinful. In fact, some of the greatest people of God throughout scriptures ask questions. Even to God himself, they ask these questions. And yet, we have to understand that the questions must be asked with the motive of getting to the truth. They must be asked from an honest and sincere heart. That was not the case here with the Pharisees. When they were asking these questions, they did not have an honest heart. They did not have a sincere heart, because later on in the text, in verse 24 of John 9, it says that they said, give God the glory, for we know this man is a sinner. You see, they didn't have the right motivation. And yet we have to understand that when we ask questions today, then to be prompted from a motivation of seeking the truth and finding the truth. No doubt the greatest question ever asked in the Bible was Acts 2, verse 37, when in response to the sermon that Peter was preaching about Jesus' death, and the response to that was, what shall we do? They were told to repent and to be baptized and to be forgiven of their sins when they obeyed the gospel. Let's make sure when we ask questions, it's to seek and find and ultimately obey the truth.